In 2016, federal government of Nigeria actually conducted an audit and discovered over 50,000 ghost workers, and that led to saving of approximately, I think, 200 billion naira annually. With us to discuss the issue of ghost workers, the ghost worker syndrome. A lot of people might want to choose to call it phantom employees. Is Chief
Chidi.
Chidi, yes.
Ezema.
Ezema, yes. I was about to get to that. He is the former head of service in Enugu State. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you so much.
Sir, the issue of ghost workers. What individuals who are on payrolls but do not actually work for the organization, what are the causes and what are the things contributing to this ghost workers?
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you for inviting me to this program. Like you rightly asked, well, the issue of ghost workers syndrome in the service. The issue of ghost workers syndrome in the service can be deliberate. It can also be unintentional. It can be deliberate in the sense that, of course, we are no longer strangers to the society. And that is the fact that some workers like to enrich themselves. And by so doing, deliberately find a way of putting names, filling names of people who are not workers into the system, into the payroll. Secondly, we have a situation where they can also manipulate the salary of workers by increasing the wage bill of a particular person, so that at the end they share the difference. So they do this in so many ways. In fact, when I was deputy attorney of Enugu State, I followed it to a large conclusion, in the sense that there was a particular staff who studied the system. So what a person does is, when he is getting close to submitting the payroll, he knows that the person that will do the checking will be overworked and will not have time to go through. So what he does is to now feed some names, and of course before then he will have also opened an account with some banks. So at the end of the month, he gets maybe so many millions of naira as a result of that. So that one is a deliberate one. The one is not deliberate is the one that if somebody passes on and is a staff, and you don't report the people that are payrolling, certainly the person that payrolls continues to payroll. Because the rule is that if you don't have an instruction written that somebody's salary should be stopped, it don't stop. So until somebody gets a written instruction that someone's salary should be payrolled, of course the person continues to payroll. So that one is also ghost worker syndrome, but not deliberate. Okay? So these days, we are coming up, or rather we came up with an idea that you don't need to wait till you get a written instruction. That's on me hearing that somebody has passed on, you immediately stop the person's salary. And that's why the ghost worker syndrome has continued to dwindle from the 2016 that you pointed out to the present moment. So they are no longer as it seems to be in the past.
Has it really dwindled? Because even recently,
yes,
the president stated, this is where a statement coming from the president, he said that those who have left the country are still receiving salaries even while they're abroad.
Yes.
And that they're going to recover these monies.
Yes.
So you can't really say that it's dwindled over time, because these are government officials that even do these things.
Yes.
I mean, somebody who is not part of the government will not do it because you're not part of the system. So it is people who are inside that add these numbers, add these names, increase these monies for someone in order to get the difference. So it hasn't really dwindled, because again, some persons would also argue that these are things that even make work scarce for people who don't even have jobs. Don't you think so?
Yeah. Well, I don't agree with you that it's not reducing. Because if you check the number, the statistics of what's happened in the past, like she said 2016 to now, the number of people that migrated from the civil service to overseas, there cannot be so many that it will warrant into millions of naira. Like she said, over 200 and something billion naira were lost in the process of ghost worker syndrome. If they check the statistics today, the one you have just quoted, it's not as much as that. So the truth of the matter is it's reducing drastically, especially with the introduction of IT, the system. And we believe that if they're able to fine-tune it more, it is going to be a radical reduction in the ghost worker syndrome in this country.
How do you recover such monies? Because the presidency said they were going to recover the monies that have been taken by those who are still abroad or still receiving salaries. How do they recover it? The money is gone.
It's very simple.
How?
The way you recover it. For instance, one, you need to check the time the person left the service. From the time the person left the service up to the time the thing stops. Okay? You know the amount. What happens is that the payroll unit will certainly come up with a figure, and the person comes up with a figure. What you do is to now write the appropriate authority. Okay? So the government may decide to insist that the person must refund the money. I mean, wherever you are in the whole world, and you ask to refund a particular money, certainly you'll be glad to do it, because if you fail to do that, the alternative that you'll be dismissed. And if you are dismissed from the service, in fact, in this country, you can't even go for any elective position. So it's as bad as that. And you can't even work again in this country.
Apart from, the fact that it could be the individual receiving it.
Yes.
The person also who is issuing it might be the one in possession. So are there political patronage and nepotism involved?
At times, it may not even be the person that is doing the payroll that is receiving the money. Okay? Because it's not really easy for you to do that. Come to think of it, like I said, if you are not aware that somebody has traveled overseas, for instance, there's no way you can go and stop somebody's salary. Somebody can decide to travel without informing the person that is payroll that is traveling. So how do you know not to take off benefiting from it?
So how do you put in place adequate monitoring and auditing mechanism to stop this if there are no nepotism?
Yeah, thank you so much for that beautiful question. In the civil service, that's what we call attendance register. Okay? And that is that everybody that goes to work must sign, or if you are using IT, you must clock in to show that you have attended duties. You see, if government wants or is willing to stop it, I mean, it's very easy. So what we suggest, like when I was head of service of Enugu State, what we do is that every month we go through the attendance register of all the civil servants in the state, ministry by ministry. You compare the thing with the payroll, and when you have the difference, you probe it to the bottom. Okay? So that's what we are doing, and that's why during my period as head of service, almost 8 years in this state, we never had this ghost worker syndrome. Well, not that it doesn't exist, but not in that magnitude.
So are you saying that there is no nepotism, knowing that, there could be people who, like you said, write their names? Are there no people who come and write the names of other people in the register?
Well, you see, they say that in every 12, there must be Judas. You can't rule out that possibility. Like, when I was head of service, we had such reports. And, if we have such reports, we don't take it easy at all. Proper and appropriate disciplinary action is usually taken against such person. And that's why, in most cases, we never had so many of such incidents. So,
right. You mentioned something about, returning monies. Don't you think this is more like an economic sabotage? And isn't there penalties for these kinds of things? Why just returning the monies? You've committed the crime.
That's what I say that you are looking at it as economic sabotage. Those people that are doing it are not looking at it that way. That's why they're continuing with it. Okay? Now,
the reason why I said it's economic sabotage is one, the monies that were supposed to be meant for government coffers to do other things, government will not be able to do them.
Yes.
Two, other people that were supposed to gain employment in the same position because you've left the position would not be able to do that.
Yes.
So these monies are going to your pocket for doing absolutely nothing.
Exactly.
So it's more like siphoning government monies with the intent, not to do the job that you're basically employed for. And I think that there's always connivance with somebody inside, and not just anybody, but somebody at the top of the pyramid. It cannot just be anybody down there, because somebody has to approve that these monies are paid. So those people who are outside are one. People who are inside are also part of the problem.
Yes.
Don't you think so?
Yeah, you're saying that because you have conscience. Some people don't have conscience like you. Okay? And that's why they're not looking at it the way you're looking at it. Some people are saying that some people or somewhere are taking money like that. This is corruption. So they're looking at it as a way of life. And they are saying that some people at the top may know. It's what they may not even know.
How is that possible?
Let me tell you now. If you are the head of a parastatal, for instance, in charge of about 1,000 people, and about 5 people leave, okay? Let's say the 5 people say they are going on annual leave, and from annual leave, and they don't come back again. How will you know?
If it is automated, for instance.
Well, that is the issue. A lot of the payroll units are not automated. Okay? And it's even the automation that is making it difficult to get the ghost work. Because what they do in the salary section is to replicate what they did in the previous months. So if A was paid 1,000 naira in June, for instance, in July, A will also be paid 1,000 naira. It's very easy now, because he's repeating what he did in the previous months.
Yes.
It's like we now say, okay, assuming A does not get paid in July, it becomes a problem.
True.
You get the thing? So so most often, those that continue to be paid usually are consistent, and that's why they don't ask questions. Asking questions, of course, will be making it more difficult for them.
But don't you also see, isn't this like an oversight, as in beyond being an oversight? The person, because you said you're in charge of 1,000 persons,
yes,
you can account for what happens to maybe 2 to 10 persons,
yes, because
you feel the figure is large. How does that explain that? So would also the president say, because I don't know the number of people in Enugu or in Anambra or in the southeast, I shouldn't know how I should let whatever is going wrong there to continue going wrong?
The thing is, even if you are the president and you don't get informed, how will you know?
So won't you put things in place to make you know? Because it's your responsibility.
That's what I'm saying. And those things that are supposed to be in place are not in place.
And they won't allow it to be put in place.
Exactly.
Because if you do it, they're going to be
And who is responsible to put it in place?
I'll give you an instance. I've given you rather an impression of how to reduce it. And that is that if we now make it a prerequisite that for anybody to be paid in the service, there must be evidence of the fact that the person attended to his duties within that month. Okay? For instance, if we say those that are going to be paid in July are the people who have evidence of physical attendance in the month of June. So we use it to now payroll them in July. With that, you don't have a ghost worker. You have a ghost worker. Because if you now payroll somebody that didn't attend, you are doing that at your own risk. Okay? But are they doing it? They're not doing it. So that's why the thing will continue to go on from time to time.
So what do you suggest on the final note?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. On a final note, let the attendance register be used as a yardstick for payrolling workers. Okay? If people who come to work are paid, after all, ghost worker is a people who did not come to work. So use the names of people who attended to duties to do the payroll. Very straightforward. And it will solve the problem.
Okay. or better still, even automate it. How about just bringing in technology to it?
Yes, you can
that.
bring in technology, but at times, I discovered that there was a time I tried to introduce this clocking in my office, head of service. So but somebody came to me and said, "This man, is that what he came here to do?"
Chief Chidi, you've been amazing on you've like helped us to know this issue. You've helped us expound on this issue of ghost workers. Even yes, it's not a good thing. And in case you're one who is also involved in this phantom or you are a phantom employee, you should desist from it and face what is ahead of you.
Yes.
Thank you so much once again, Chief Chidi Ezema.
Thank you so much.
This is still Signature Morning. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back.